Are the Ottawa Senators officially for sale? Who could the potential buyers be? Why is this all happening now? We'll discuss the full scenario and how it might unfold coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty substantial news here that kind of broke within the last 24 hours. Now, we did touch on this a little bit in yesterday's video, just with a quick overview that it was rumored that the Ottawa Senators were going to be sold, or at least going up for sale here soon, that the current owners were looking for, just kind of exploring the idea and kind of preparing things. So we do have a lot more information now. We get a lot of information on a new article today from Bruce Garriock, who covers the Sens for the local newspapers, also works for TSN, and it was also discussed as well in some other reports, including Ian Mendez of The Athletic and a few other outlets. So let's kind of discuss everything that we know and how this might be going down. So first up, should Ottawa Senators fans be nervous or anything about the team relocating? I'll say emphatically no, absolutely not. I don't think there's any reason at all. I've already seen other areas that would like to have NHL teams saying, oh, the Senators are for sale. They might be coming to Houston. Sorry, that ain't happening. There is several groups interested in buying this team, and we don't have reason to believe any of them would want to buy them with the intent of moving them. And of course, that would have to be approved by the league and Gary Bettman anyway. And we know how emphatic they are of moving teams. They want to keep the team. There's a big project in the works for a new arena. So let's go through all that. I just want to get that out of the way right off the hop. If you're a Senators fan, if you live in Ottawa and you're concerned your team's moving, I wouldn't be, not even in the least. Of course, there was a point in time when Ottawa Senators, and many of their fans at least, I don't know about everybody, but a big chunk of them would love to hear news of the team being sold, because of the relationship that unfolded between owner Eugene Melnyk and the fans, and how the team was being run. And there was a lot of very unhappy people. Season ticket sales were down. The arena was not getting the attendance like you would think and hope in a Canadian market. And things just were not trending well, especially as the team entered a rebuild. There was concerned star players didn't want to stay anymore, and mostly because they couldn't get the contracts they wanted. There was lots of things to be concerned about. But of course, Eugene Melnyk has since gone through a lengthy illness and has passed away. His daughters now run the team, and you can see a whole different way of doing things. And a lot of that might have to do with the fact that they want to prop this team up, because it's obviously a huge investment for them, something that their father has left and entrusted to them, and that they can obviously set themselves up for their futures. I mean, they're both under the age of 25. Many didn't expect the Melnyk girls to hold on to the team long term, at least not as a majority owner. Many suspected they would at the very least bring on a partner or something, because obviously that just makes total sense, right? Two young people under the age of 25 that are just kind of getting their feet wet and in life, are they capable of running a team on their own? Many suspect it, not likely, and now we're finding out here that the sale is likely happening. But we now know that they've had exploratory talks. They're basically partnered with a bank based out of New York, which is Galatiati Sports Partners. I hope I said that right. But they obviously are a well respected firm that have dealt with other sports owners looking to do this sort of thing. So they're a good bank to work with, from what we've heard. I don't know a lot about them, but the brief bit of information I've seen seems to be pretty positive. So they've been partnering with them and having exploratory talks about potential sale. We just seen the information came out on yesterday about the new valuations for NHL franchises. The Senators were given a valuation of $655 million. Many suspect that the actual sale of the Senators will be more than that, because you have to also look at the potential, like how it's going to grow with what the current owners and team has done so far with the new arena in the works and all that kind of stuff. It's likely going to be somewhere in the 700. It's probably going to be 700 million is probably the low end. I don't even think it'll be that low. I'm going to say probably 750, 800, somewhere in that range. And it wouldn't be shocking then if the team gets new ownership, it gets the new arena completed, that they very well could end up with a valuation closer to $1 million or billion, maybe 900 plus in a few years' time. But we'll see how things go. But based on what we've been told here from the different media outlets that have their sources covering all this, the team should be officially for sale within likely the next 30 days or so, roughly. So why is it happening right now? Well, the timing is key because we know that the Ottawa Senators were given they won the bid to have the preferred rights to develop the LeBreton Flats area to get a new downtown arena. Well, they had 15 months to get a lease in place. So they have to go through the different steps, of course, and time's ticking. So does it not make total sense that the new owners would likely want to be involved in that development of that new arena? Also, you have to look at the fact that the cost that it's going to take to build this new arena. Now, there's different ways that the financing could be structured for this. Do the existing owners and the Melnyk girls in their estate that they're from their father have the money to build a new arena? I would suspect not on their own. I would suspect at the very least they'd need partners. So it doesn't make more sense for them to get the project set up so that everything's in place for the new arena, but to let somebody else kind of take over and actually get it done. Now, there's also some talk that there could be some other funding in place here. Of course, I know the city of Ottawa just went through an election for their municipal government, have a new mayor. So it would be, the articles that we're talking about here, which makes total sense that the Sens will want to meet with the new mayor shortly to discuss the potential scenario of there being some public funding involved. I know Bruce Garriock's article talks about the possibility that we could see a similar structure to what the Oilers went through to get their new arena, where we could see some funding from the city and some funding from the province, and then the rest being private. So, of course, right now everything is trending very positively for this new arena, and things are looking good. But who could possibly want to buy this team? And like I said, I don't think there's any danger of them moving. There's several groups interested. I know Bruce Garriock's article today indicates that there's some Toronto-based investors that are very interested in buying this team. So obviously that's one group. Certainly, like I said, there's multiple, though. There is also reported interest from former Penguin minority owners Jeff and Michael Kimmel. They certainly had previously expressed interest in the team, as well as getting involved with the LeBreton Flats development. So they alone, too, based on what we know about them, likely could, fund the purchase on their own. They probably wouldn't necessarily need other partners. So that's a possibility as well. The owner of the Hamilton Bulldogs is also reportedly interested as well. And of course, you have billionaire Andre Desmarais of Montreal-based Power Corp. He had been linked with the other group that was bidding against the Senators back in 2016 for LeBreton as well. Obviously, he's been very interested in this in a long time. Obviously, very deep pockets. Also, very good friends with Gary Bettman. So that probably doesn't hurt. And also, there's also talks of Farm Boy exec Jeff York that he's met with the NHL and Deputy Commissioner Bill Daley. And then he reportedly has a group in place as well that could also be very much interested. Now, in the past, York's group did work with Desmarais together on the joint bid that was against the Senators back in 2016. Now, the group with Jeff York, that one is the one I had heard rumors that Daniel Alfredsson could be involved in some capacity there. And if that group were to actually buy the team, that there would be a good chance that Alfredsson could possibly return in an executive role, maybe as president of the team or something high-ranking within the front office. I mean, we've heard Alfredsson himself make comments because he's been around the team a bit more, made a few appearances, that he's certainly very interested. But right now, he's kind of just taking things slow. Obviously, he's going to get inducted to the Hall of Fame here shortly. And for right now, he's, kind of feeling things out, so to speak, taking his time, enjoying being around the team more. But he said if the right opportunity presented himself, that maybe he could see himself down the road getting involved with the team again in a more official role of some sort. Now, what exactly that role could be, like I said, it's difficult to say. I mean, he does have some coaching experience now as well, coaching his boys. I don't know if he'd have any interest in that type of role or if it's going to be front office. But no matter what, Daniel Alfredsson being involved with the team in any capacity is good news for the team, good news for the city, and just good news for everybody involved here. So hard to say exactly who makes the purchase, exactly when it goes down, it's hard to say. But based on the fact that we're looking at about another 30 days or so before the team's officially for sale, then obviously all these different groups that I've talked about, and maybe there could be others too, can start like a bidding process. There will be plenty of meetings to be had making their pitch. Obviously, the NHL will be involved. They have to approve any sale. Obviously, Bettman's biggest thing, one of his biggest things that he's going to be looking for. At a board of governors level, is the price. At the end of the day, just like anything else in real estate or anything else, when you sell your team, obviously your price that you sell for impacts everybody else. So they want to see that number go as high as possible. And given the fact that the average NHL team now is worth $1 billion, they're going to want to get that up there for sure. But you take a look at the current value, season ticket sales are up tremendously from the last few years, so that's good news. Ticket sales could still be a bit better, but they've certainly been way better so far this year at the home games, which is great to see. And then, of course, like I said, the big project for the downtown arena is only going to make things even better and give this team a big boost in value should everything come to fruition and take place there. So obviously, the new owner could obviously have a stake in the arena as well as the team, and hopefully take it, and like I said, not only the new direction to downtown, but a new direction up through the league as they continue to hopefully build this thing up and, keep forward with a much stronger on-ice product. So again, if you're a Sens fan, you have zero reason to be concerned about the team relocating. I don't think that's any possibility. There's just too many groups here that want to come in and take over this team and get this new arena done. So to me, like I said, no reason to be concerned about that at all. Exactly who the new owners end up being, it's difficult to say. There's multiple groups here, like I just went over, that have that interest. So who it ends up being, time will tell. But there's a good chance by the time we finish the end of this current regular season, if not into the early part of next offseason, I would say that there's likely going to be new Senators ownership in place and a deal to be done. Hopefully by then we'll have some more forward progress on the new arena as well. Will the Melnyk girls retain any part of ownership? I wouldn't be completely shocked if they did. I know it was important to their father. Eugene wanted to keep this team in the family for generations to come. So I won't be, surprised if we find out that, they retain some kind of a small minority stake and are still involved in some kind of a small capacity. But let me know your thoughts on this situation, especially if you have any kind of connections to the local community. If you have any news on any of these groups or anything that you might know, certainly leave some comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's being said in the local community as well. So we'll take it from there and stay tuned. This is going to be a developing story over the next 6 to 12 months. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.